Hello honorable members of the clan, so welcome to my YouTube channel. Let's go to Nigeria, guys. These guys will not leave us alone. They're just not going to leave us alone because of the culture of disrespecting South Africans has been a thing for them. And some are now picking up on that yeah, we can do as we please with those people. They're not going to do anything. I mean, I showed you a video yesterday where we were actually officially threatened. And I said this before to you fellow South Africans, that one day our Sazokal is back. If you don't know what this back is, ask a Zulu friend of yours, what is back? Sazokal is back, and we are not ready for it. Because we are not a country where its population in its majority was ever conscripted in the army at 18 when you were finished with matric. We don't know. The only people that probably can say I have picked up a gun before are Ototi. They had to learn somewhere, somehow. The rest of us who are even terrified at the sight of it, it's like so Kalis Bakru Bafetu, so Kalis Bakru, and these people are ready. And especially never take Nigerians lightly. These guys, they come from an aggression. Nigeria is an aggressive country on its own. Just the country on its own. Then you go to the history of that country. How many coups did they have up until 1990? I think about military. So these people have gone through military coups. And you can imagine how the culture of doing things is not gentle. It's like you are in a grill, whatever of some sort. Everything, that is why they speak this loud, as if they are fighting when they are actually in a conversation. Because of that culture they've built themselves as a nation. Aggression. I was watching the Miss Universe Nigeria the other time. One of the girls, which was quite funny actually, to see. She started off very, very calmly. And as she was talking, she was getting more and more aggressive. And I was like, that's one of the reasons why they don't win the beauty pageants globally, because of that aggression. So all I'm saying here is, when it comes to the threat that was made by that thing, don't take it lightly. They got the tactics, they got the skill, and they got the experience. You must also remember, some of them are fugitive from the law in Nigeria. They come from the north of Nigeria as Boko Haram. Some of them, they are unalivers of other people, like that. From what I hear, the houses, stealing people's lands, unaliving them, and when they're in trouble, they hop on the plane and run away to South Africa. But because Nigeria is not like South Africa, where we keep records, and that if there is a fugitive on the run, we alert the international community, particularly Interpol, if such countries have a treaty with Interpol. Not Nigeria. Once you're gone, well, you're gone. At least it's somebody else's problems. Almost like what China does as well with its prisoners. From what I hear, if you are problematic, I'm not saying this is true, what I've heard some some businesses that are run in South Africa or in Africa itself are Chinese that were prisoners. Now, when China wants to shed the prisoners, they will give them something like 300 million rand, allegedly, to go and start a business in any country they want. Hence, they flock to Africa, allegedly. But if you think about it, that kind of like makes sense to me. So they will just get rid of the troublemakers of the country to be trouble elsewhere. Because I can tell you right now, if you went to many Chinese store, they only want cash only. No, try it. They only want cash only. Why? Because you can't trace cash. And 2, taxes. Yeah. 3, follow the money. With cash, it kind of like the trail disappears. Why? You have to ask yourself those questions. But let's go back to Nigeria. So same goes with, they are here. They have all that experience and skills and tactics to take us out. But Tina is, I'm not saying, all I am saying is our action isn't the ballot paper when we remove the African National Congress. Because you saw that thing calling on the ANC as if these are his, I don't know, not even buddies. They are his subordinates. Because he says he failed to talk to us, as if Tina, we easily pulled by the nose. You know, some people are just daring, honestly speaking. So those are the things that I believe we are not paying attention to. You go to Somalians, that entire country is military, and their people are military skilled. And then you go to countries like the Congo and surroundings. They're young people who are now in their 30s going into 40s. Some of them are former child soldiers. They know where to press on your neck for you to be hallelujah. Yeah, this coming weekend. They know all those things. We are not prepared for this. I'm telling you, we are not. Because we are now going to be having this sort of talks.
We're now being joined by Evans Ufeli, a constitutional lawyer and public affairs analyst. All right, I'd like to start off with, Julius Malema and his fiery speech that he, gave. The address was quite viral, and he had a huge stance against xenophobia. And I'm not sure if you have seen this recent conversation and the videos that have been circulating online on the xenophobic attacks that are currently going on in South Africa. Doctors Without Borders have highlighted that. And I'd like to know from your legal standpoint, what sort of framework can protect Nigerians that are in South Africa at the moment, and of course, Africans at large?
I've seen those videos. Yes. I mean, I visit South Africa regularly because I have a lot of relatives in South Africa. And so I understand exactly what the concerns are, what the projections are. And the plain truth is that the not so schooled South Africans are the ones perpetrating this.
Editing cleanses here. Guys, the Nigerians, they like throwing this line at us. Well, maybe they need to be reminded. In South Africa, actually South Africa is the top 3 most educated nation on the African continent. The second thing, which I already showed you guys previously, is that Nigeria is terrible at keeping records. So because some of them think we are like them, we don't keep records, we don't know people that are illiterate and those that are educated. People in Operation Dudula have degrees, in case he wasn't sure. South Africans are educated. We have issues, yes. But one thing about a South African, with the poor system we have, we go to school. We do. Unlike 63 to about 70 million Nigerian children aren't going to school. That is the entire population of South Africa plus uneducated. And y'all think we are uneducated for fighting for our country? Let us show you how uneducated people actually win wars. Watch the space.
The very elite among them are indifferent, okay? And when they perpetrate these xenophobic tendencies, the law enforcement agencies sadly do not caution them. When you look at the videos, you see how indifferent the law enforcement agencies are, which sends a message to the entire world. Because if uniformed men cannot caution people from illegality, what it means invariably is that the country sanctions it. The country has agreed that what they are doing is correct.
Just to highlight these videos, there were videos of people, Nigerians or Africans in, hospitals regarding healthcare.
Yes,
these individuals in the hospitals, Steve, I'm sure you have seen those videos.
Absolutely.
These individuals in the hospitals were sending, non-South Africans away from their clinics and denying them medical care.
Yes,
yeah.
because medical care in South Africa is free.
Yes.
Okay, so they believe that these persons are enjoying what they exclusively need to enjoy. And so they are sending them away and the rest of that. But you see, a government of a country, that is why it's called sovereign. The sovereign must take a decision. The citizens of the country cannot overpower the sovereign, because the sovereign should be able to exert that power of coercion and then bring everybody under control. So for me, I think that the South African government is culpable, clearly speaking, because, I'm not going to quote it, be so diplomatic about the truth. The truth is that there's a point at which the government of South Africa is highly complicit in all this, because you can't tell me that your citizens, when they were in this apartheid thing and all that, Nigerians' contribution to that conversation is invaluable.
This man is now, or has now gone to say, let's tap into their government. Maybe finally we'll be in peace to sell our white powder, kidnap their girls, turn them into prostitutes, and do money rituals with them, and all the other stuff that they are doing here. That our government is culpable. That means it's intentionally rising xenophobia. Listen, you guys still use the word xenophobia against South Africans? Why don't you get the memo? We keep sending you guys the memo. We don't give a rat's tail about that word. We don't. The rise of xenophobia. For sake. We don't care about that word. But all that we care about is our country, and we will fight for our country with your tactics that you have. Whatever experience that you have militarily, whatever tactics that you have militarily, or whatever experiences that you have militarily. But you will not take our country from us. And that's never going to happen. That's not going to happen. And we're not going to keep quiet. That's another thing. We will make it uncomfortable for you. We will make it uncomfortable for you. I don't understand. Your brag, we're intelligent, we are hard workers, we are rich. And then you still come with all of that to fight us in our healthcare system. And yet you have the money. People have money in South Africa. They use private clinics and private hospitals and surgeries. That's what they do. They don't come where we at. So you're lying that you are hardworking, intelligent, and rich. You're lying. It's a fantasy that you live in your head. It's very interesting, by the way, I must say. But South Africa is battle. Siyeza. The question is, how prepared are they? And something tells me, while we are asleep at night, Bona, they are training. It's just my suspicion. They know the strategic areas to hit first. Because once you hit here and you hit there, you've got the entire country in their control. If you don't know how coup d'etats work, a coup d'etat is a regime change by force. What they do is, from what I understand, they first get the general of the army on their side, who usually becomes the interim president and turns out to be a president for life. The second thing that they capture is the state broadcaster. In our case, the South African Broadcasting Corporation, SABC. And then the third thing that they make sure that they get is the Minister of Intelligence, the Minister of Police, and already have the what do you call this, the general. The Minister of Defense is just ceremonial as far as they are concerned. And then they capture all the other stuff, because when a coup happens, they need the national broadcaster to tell everybody to calm down. Don't do anything stupid. Right? And then the general of the army will be in the union buildings, for example. I'm just giving an example. With a pew-pew against Ramaphosa's head. Again, it's an example. Either they do pew-pew him or they arrest him. It's done. We wake up the next morning, we are told who's the new president. In most cases, they'll say, oh, interim. Elections will be held in maybe 9 months from now, they'll say. And then they'll have a whole new constitution. And most of it, it's military stuff. There'll be curfews for us. You are not allowed on the street between this time and this time. And you are not allowed this and you're not allowed that. Anyways, I'm just letting you know how they work. So we don't know, because they're bringing that mentality here. They're building parliaments, they're building kingdoms, they're building states. Right here in South Africa, by the way, right here. Others are building apartment buildings without following the property law of the country. Yeah, anyways, I hope I've shocked you enough for you to ponder so that you remove the ANC. You got to remove them because it will happen at their behest. Yeah. Anyways, do what you will. I shall see you next time with a new video, but please do me a big favor, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye.